hour ago this week, our country went into lockdown. But we went right to work. Over the past year, Congress has passed 5 relief bills to get Americans back on their feet. Each one of them was bipartisan. This week, Congress passed the 6th. It is the single spending bill in history. And the only bipartisan vote was the vote against the bill. Not one Republican voted for it. The question is why. About the virus. As you know, less than 9% is used to defeat the virus. It doesn't prioritize school openings. Most of the money for schools doesn't even go out till 2023. It pays people more to stay home than go back to work. It includes hundreds of billions in state bailouts, when, as the Wall Street Journal reported just last night, despite the pandemic's crushing toll on the U.S. economy, total state revenues were roughly flat in 2020 from the year before. This isn't a relief bill. It's pretty much a payoff for Pelosi's political allies, and it will be the American people paying the bill. And as Pelosi and Biden try to convince the nation otherwise, the same 3 real priorities remain. We need to reopen every school in America. Science knows it's safe, and parents want it to happen. We need to get Americans to work, and the vaccine efforts created by Operation Warp Speed, which will administer 2 million vaccines, needs to keep moving forward. Vaccinate the country and restore our way of life. A focus like that would allow the administration to do the right thing, while at the same time doing the other things that it's responsible for, such as securing our border. Many of you know, last week I sent President Biden asking for a meeting to talk about the crisis along the border. I still have not had a response, but even President Biden's own Secretary of State, Blinken, said yesterday, strong borders are fundamental to our nation's security. And it's not just in America that knows it's a crisis outside of the White House, even the President of Mexico. He said that people coming to the border see Biden as the migrant president, the encouragement of making it happen. I couldn't agree more. That is why we must address this crisis at the border. It is spiraling out of control and is entirely caused by the actions of this administration. In February alone, there were more than 100,000 migrants encounters, a 7-year high and 173% increase from the same time last year. Let's put that in perspective. In 1 month, 100,000. Those are the ones we encountered, not the ones that got through that people did not see. What does that equate to? Joe Biden's hometown is Scranton, Pennsylvania. 100,000 is a higher population than Scranton in 1 month. Health and Human Services reported they are taking in 321 children a day, up from the weekly average of 203 just a few weeks ago. As I said, last week I sent a letter to talk about the crisis. Haven't heard back. The American people also haven't gotten an update since it's been 50 days since the president has held a press conference. So on Monday, I'm going to the border. I'm taking 12 members with me from the committees of jurisdiction, working on trying to find a solution caused by Biden's action just in a short time frame. And don't take my word for it. The other thing we've been doing prior to going to the border is talking to people down along the border. Russell, who lives in New Mexico, doesn't allow his children to play outside unsupervised anymore because Biden left nearly a mile-long gap in the wall on its property. Just about every one of the houses in his community has been broken into. Not only that, the cattle are getting sick from the stress of hundreds of people crossing by them every day. The cattle wander out through the broken fences to Mexico. Mexican cattle ranchers wander in sometime, bringing the diseases and destroying his livelihood. We spoke to the mayor of Uvalde, Mayor Don McLaughlin, who said the facilities down there are so packed, Border Patrol has left to just release migrants into the middle of the town. Day. Just this Sunday, they had a head-on crash during one of the pursuits. In the last because armed migrants are out. In January, multiple officers were shot at. That's just this community. And a member of the Texas Farm Bureau told us an acquaintance on his southern Arizona was just forced to move off his ranch because his 6-year-old daughter was missing. They followed tracks south of the ranch until they found her sitting alone barefoot, miles away from their house after Border Patrol tracked down the group. One common theme here is this is not a political issue anymore. It's becoming a national security concern. That's why I sent a letter to work with the president on the crisis he created along the border. Just for a meeting. He hasn't even acknowledged the crisis he created, let alone set a time to meet to solve it. With that, let's open it up for questions.